Here's a close-up of the adorable shoes, and they go with the dress. They match her outfit, and then she also has a matching bonnet and the blanket. Each of these has a separate video tutorial: the blanket, the beautiful blanket, the adorable dress, and the beautiful bonnet. And now you have the matching shoes. I'm going to show you how to make this adorable little baby bootie. You're going to need your F or 4mm crochet hook, as well as your tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. The yarn that I'm using is Lion's brand Pound of Love, and I have the white, pink, and purple colors. The ribbon that I'm using is Celebrate It 360. It's a really pretty, you could use whatever color ribbon that you want, but this one is a white glittery ribbon. This one is also a 3/8 of an inch. The first thing you're going to do is just take your yarn, I'm using my white color first, and just fold it over to form a loop. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and just place it right in the loop and hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through the loop for a slip knot. Then pull on the loose yarn end and cinch it closed. Then you're going to make a chain, and we're going to start with a chain of 12. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1, 2, 3. So you should have a chain of 12. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and go into the second chain from the hook. Go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both for a single crochet. Then you're going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch back to the beginning. You're going to leave the last stitch unworked because we're going to make 7 double crochet into that last stitch. So 1 single crochet in all the other stitches except for the last stitch. Alright, so this is how my work looks so far. And I have 1 stitch left. I'm going to make 7 double crochet into that last stitch. So you're going to take and yarn over, go into that last stitch. You can go behind your loose yarn end because we're going to bury it as we work. Bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and bring the yarn through 2 of the loops. 2 loops still on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through those last 2 for 1 double crochet. And then we're going to make another double crochet into the same stitch for our second one. And we're going to make a total of 7. Then you're going to be on the opposite side. So this is the side that we made the single crochets in. We made 7 double crochet into the last stitch, and now we're on the opposite side, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into each stitch back to where you started. So 1 single crochet in every stitch back on the opposite side. Then we have a couple of stitches left. Then you're going to make a slip stitch into that last stitch. This is how your work should look so far. And then we'll make a slip stitch into that last stitch. Just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And then that finishes that round. And this is how your work should look. For the next round, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet for this next round. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next 10 stitches. I'll do a couple with you. Do one more. Go ahead and finish making a double crochet into 10 stitches and then come back. Now for the next 5 stitches you're going to make 2 double crochet into each stitch. So 2 double crochet into the same stitch for the next 5 stitches and then come back. This is how your work should look so far, and I still have a couple of stitches around that front bend, so I'm going to make 2 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Now you're going to make 1 double crochet into every stitch back to the beginning and then come back. So 1 double crochet into every stitch back to the beginning. When you're back to the beginning, you're going to take your crochet hook and go into that top stitch of that first chain 3 that you made. So the top stitch of the first chain 3. Then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch to close or finish that round. and this is how your shoe should be looking so far. Now we're going to add a new color. We're going to add the purple yarn. So you just take your new color and you're going to hook it with your crochet hook and bring it through the loop. Then you're going to chain 1, cut the previous colored yarn, tie a knot, you can go ahead and start flipping the bottom of the shoe inside out so that the loose yarn end is on the inside. Then you're going to chain 3, and then make 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches, and then come back. I'm going to bury my loose yarn ends as I work. I'm going to show you a couple of them. And we're making 1 double crochet into the next 10 stitches. I'm going to go behind the loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, make my double crochet, this is how your work should look so far. Now we're going to make decrease stitches around the front of the foot. And how you do that, this is called a double crochet decrease. You just yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2. Then you have 2 loops remaining on the hook. Then you yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 3. And that's 1 double crochet decrease. We're going to do a total of 6. I'm going to do them all with you. So that was 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, and our last one, 5. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet. Actually, we still have a couple of stitches here on the other side, so we're going to go ahead and do another decrease. So I did 7 decreases, and you can see how it makes a nice little curve around the front of your shoe. Then you're just going to make 1 double crochet into every stitch back to the beginning and then come back. When you're back to the beginning, we're going to join the back. Just take your crochet hook, go into that top stitch, see if we can get into that top stitch. Okay, there we go. Top stitch of the first chain 3 stitch, then yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. Then we're going to join our new color. So I'm using my pink color, pastel pink, and you're just going to join it the same way that you did before, just chain 1. Then you're just going to take and cut the previous colored yarn, and then tie your knot. I'm going to go ahead and turn my booty the right side so that the wrong side is on the inside of the shoe. Then get my yarn untangled. Here we go. Now we're going to bury our loose yarn ends as we work. Go ahead and chain 3 for the next row. Grab your loose yarn ends. And then you're going to make 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the front of the shoe again. I'm going behind my loose yarn end as I work to bury it. So now I have a total of, counting that first chain 3, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 stitches, 1 double crochet into a total of 11 stitches, and then come back. This is how your work should look so far. And now we're at the front of the shoe. We're going to make some more decreases. So you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, and these are going to be double crochet decreases. So you just yarn over and go through 2 loops on the hook remaining, yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3. So that's 1 decrease, double crochet decrease, 2, 3, and our last one, so that was 4 double crochet decreases across the front of the shoe. Then you're just going to make 1 double crochet into every stitch back to the beginning and then come back. When you're back to the beginning, you're going to take your crochet hook and go into that top stitch of that first chain 3 that you made, yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you're going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. And this is what your booty should look like so far. Now, with your booty, this is the right side facing up. You want to go to the center of the front of the shoe and then count over 1, 2, 3 stitches, and you're going to join your purple color into the next stitch over. So you just take your purple color, or whatever color you're using for the back of your shoe, and you're just going to join it. Go ahead and chain 1, and then tie a knot. Then you're going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, after you made your chain of 3, you're going to want to make 1 double crochet into every stitch around until you reach the opposite side, which should be 18 stitches. Or you can count from the center again and go over the same amount, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this side it would be more the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th stitch straight across. So 1 double crochet into every stitch until you're equal on the other side. Make sure that you bury any loose yarn ends that you come across, just crochet behind them, and then come back. I just finished my last double crochet, and you could see how the 2 sides are equal on mine, which is what I wanted. Then, after you finish that last double crochet, then you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then skip 2 stitches and work a single crochet into the 3rd stitch. And you're forming a chain 3 loop, which is what you want across the back edge of the shoe. So chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to skip 2 stitches and work a single crochet into the 3rd stitch. And you're going to do that all the way across. And now I have my last one. I'm going to make a single crochet into the last stitch. And then I'm just going to turn my work and single crochet into the first chain 3 loop space. So go into that chain 3 loop space, bring up a loop, make a single crochet. Then we're going to make our first flame shell. Now you're going to yarn over, go into that chain 3 loop space, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2. You have 2 loops remaining, yarn over, go into the same chain 3 loop space, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 3 loops remaining, yarn over, go into the same chain 3 loop space, bring up a loop, Now you have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through 2. Then you have 4 loops remaining, yarn over and go through all 4 for your first flame. Then chain 1 to hold it together. And then we're going to make another flame in the same chain 3 loop space. Then you're going to chain 1 to hold it together, and then you're going to make 1 more in the same chain 3 loop space. Then you're going to single crochet into the same chain 3 loop space, and that completes your flame shell. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the next chain 3 loop space and then repeat. So I'm going to make 1 more with you. Then I'm going to single crochet in the same chain 3 loop space. Then I'm going to single crochet into the next chain 3 loop space and repeat. And you're going to do that in every chain 3 loop space, and you can see the beautiful flame shell it creates. After you finish your last flame shell, then you can make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first stitch that you have right there on the end. Just bring the yarn through both loops on the hook and then go ahead and finish off. Just bring enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then you have the black back flame shells across the back of the shoe. Now I'm just going to show you how to bury your loose yarn ends. Just take your tapestry needle, put it onto your loose yarn end, then just take on the inside of the shoe, just take your loose yarn end and just bury it, just weave it through the inside, and I like to come back, and that just buries it nicely. Go ahead and bury any loose yarn ends that you have, and then come back, and I'll show you how to make the bow that goes on the front of your shoe. I'm going to use my pink yarn to show you what color bow, how to make the bow that goes onto the front of your shoe. Just take your yarn, fold it over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook and put it right through the loop. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and thumb, and then just yarn over and pull the yarn through that loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to chain 4. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and go into that first chain that you made. So the very first chain that you made, and then hold your yarn like this because we're going to make a slip stitch. You're just going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and then bring the yarn through both loops on the hook to form a slip stitch, and that should form a circle. Then you're going to make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That counts as your first treble crochet. And we're going to make 5 more treble crochet into the center of the circle. So you're going to yarn over twice. Then you're going to go right into the center of the circle. You're going to bring up a loop. And now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2. Then you have 3 loops left on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2. Now you have 2 loops left on the hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2. And you just finished a treble crochet. So we're going to make 4 more into the center of the circle. I'm going to make them with you. All right, so I have my beginning chain 4, which counts as 1, and then the 5 I made, which makes 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to make a chain of 4. Then we're going to make a slip stitch into the center of the circle. So go into the center of the circle, and you're going to take and yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And that forms one side of the bow. Now you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to form the other side. So you're going to make 5 treble crochet into the center of the circle. Let's see, how many was that? 1 more. All right, so now I finished making my treble crochets. Then I'm going to make a chain of 4, and then I'm going to make a slip stitch again into the center of the circle. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish off, just yarn over, and this time you're going to pull a lot of yarn through because you want to make the center of your bow. This is what your bow should look like, and then you have the long yarn that you left for tying down the center of the bow, and you also have your the loose yarn in that you're going to hold to the side. So just take that long yarn end and wrap it and form your bow. Once you have the bow formed the way you like it, then you're just going to take the back and tie a knot with that loose yarn end, the small loose yarn end. Then just get your tapestry needle and put it onto the short yarn end that you have. You want to center your bow onto your shoe and then bring the small loose yarn end into the shoe. Then take the longer end that you have, put that onto your tapestry needle. That's the one that you're going to use to sew the bow in place. And I just take and sew along the center of the bow until it is sewn in place onto the shoe. Make sure that it's sewn on really well. That way it doesn't come off and become a choking hazard. And then you just bury your loose yarn ends on the inside of the shoe after you're done sewing it on the front. After you have your bow sewn onto your shoe, the last step is putting your ribbon on. And I just take my ribbon and I just weave it through the double crochet under your flame shells. I just use one double crochet for the inside of the shoe, and then I skip around about 6 double crochet on the outside of the shoe. That way you have more ribbon showing on the outside of the shoe. And you just weave it around the back of the shoe and then tie your bow and cut the amount of ribbon that you want. Then you just make your second shoe and you're all done.